Hey folks, and welcome to class. I'm going to give you a quick overview and a quick explanation of sort of how to navigate around the class, okay? If you've never been in D2L before, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the stuff up top, and then I'll get into the details of our class, okay? So, hey, that's a Prairie State logo. That's the class you're in. This button right here will pull up the rest of your courses, so everything else that you're enrolled in will show up right there. Don't use either of these two things. They don't work very well. This is a messaging tool that we've not fully implemented at the college, mostly because we want to encourage students to use email. So if you have messages to send me, please use email. It's just a lot easier way of doing it than the alerts here. These, if you subscribe to a specific discussion board so you can see if there are updates, you'll see those updates show up here. And then these update alerts are things like Professor Nicholas has added new comments or there are new grades in. So if you see a little orange dot up there, it'll show you there is something new. If we click right here, it'll actually note that there was this announcement posted on Friday to give students an overview of D2L. Okay, so it'll just list whatever it is there. You can click on it and it'll take you there. This is who you are, a little settings button. That's me right there, my beautiful wife right there. Okay. Next row here, we have the course home. That is where we are right now. I'll walk you through the course home in a minute. There is content. That's where everything for the class is. My recommendation is that I had to go and click a button I didn't intend to click real quick. I'll walk you through table of contents in just a second. My recommendation is you do not use the rest of these, with the exception of assessment, which you might go into to check your grades. Your grades are always going to be kept up to date and right there, okay? Everything else is linked in the content section, so I'm hoping that you do not need to use any of the rest of these links. You will, surprisingly, not have an instructor's resources button. Okay. Basically, go to content, and I try to link everything from there. I'll walk you through that in a second. Very quickly, on the course homepage, I do put an announcement. I try to get one a week up in this section right here. The calendar will actually have anything that has a Dropbox attached to it will show up in the calendar here, and it will show up all semester long. However, if there's something that I need you to email to me or something like a reading that I just need you to do, there's no due date in the calendar, so it's not a complete list of everything you need to do. It is a complete list of the stuff you need to turn in via D2L, but there's other work to do. So don't live and die by the calendar. If you want to come set up an appointment to talk with me either on the phone or in person, just click this link. It'll walk you through the process. It'll give you all of my available times and will allow you to set something up. And then at any point during the semester, you need to chat with one of the librarians to help you with your research. The Ask a Librarian button right here. It is offline right now, but during normal hours and well into the evenings, they tend to be open. Okay? Let's go into content, and I'll walk you through everything else. Okay. So we're at the table of contents. Down the left-hand side, you're going to see in this case, 4 different modules. One is general course info, that has my contact information right here, the class syllabus right here, the course schedule right here. So the course schedule differs from the syllabus in that it just literally lays out what is due each week and what the due dates are. Okay, so sometimes we'll have a single due date, sometimes we'll have 2. I think just once in the semester, maybe twice. I think just once we'll have 3 during the course of a week. Okay, so it is important to note this. It does vary week to week. You can't just always count on Monday mornings at 11 a.m., which is when stuff tends to be due. That everything will be due at that time. Okay, because our first week right here, there's something due on Thursday, and a couple weeks down the road here. Once we get into February, we've got a Friday and a Monday. Okay, so do pay attention. Check out what is due for the week a week in advance, so that you have an idea as to how to plan your schedule. Okay, I think that's the big thing with the course schedule. The syllabus lays out all the policies, the credit hours, the grading system, all of that sort of stuff, okay? All of that is laid out here. If you have any questions about this, do not hesitate to let me know. I'm glad to help, okay? After that, there are some technology requirements. This is what you need in order to be able to do the class. If you don't have Microsoft Office in some way, that might present a problem. That's one of the big things. I can't open Microsoft Works files, and I can't open Apple Pages files. There are some ways around that, and if you've got one of those programs, shoot me a note and I will walk you through your options, okay? There's just some how-tos here. You can check those out. They're little tech how-tos. If you have problems or tech issues, you can go here. And then there's some link to some college services here. Okay, so if that makes sense to everybody. I'm going to come back to weekly content in a second. And down in student resources, this is all college level stuff. But the D2L Resource Center, a video on etiquette, whether or not you're ready for an online class, disability services, veterans, the library, the writing center, advising and counseling, financial aid, the help desk, student success center, the foundation. If you're having any financial issues, the foundation works miracles for students. Okay, so this is just college level resources. Finally, if you feel like you're drowning, okay, go click this page. It will walk you through some immediate steps. If at any point you are really struggling, obviously contact me, but this page will also walk you through some steps, who to talk to, when to talk to them, what to talk to them about, okay? At some point during the semester, I think you're going to struggle. Everyone does. It's how we learn. And you get to that point, click that link, and it will walk you through a few things, okay? Now, if you go into weekly content, it will be broken down into 4 units. Each unit is 1 paper. We tend to start a paper at the end of the prior unit. So the last week of 1 unit, you're generally doing a reading or something to get ready for the essay the next week, okay? You can click on any one of these units, and it will lay out for you everything that is each week, okay? So the first week runs from January 13th through January 20th. Every week works the same way. You start here with a to-do list, and again, it will list due dates, an explanation. You will scoot down. Every single week has a video. Please watch the video, okay? That video will do things like explain assignments in more detail. It's my opportunity to sort of talk through some things the way that I would do in a face-to-face class that I really can't do in an online class other than through that video. I try to keep them all relatively short, generally under 5 minutes, never longer than 10, okay? This video right here is, I guarantee, going to be the longest one you'll see the entire semester, okay? So make sure you watch the video, and then, like I said, everything is linked from there. All of these links line up with the to-do list here. If it is plausible for me to put a link to something, I will do it right below your to-do list, okay? That is the way every one of these works, okay? The units open up one at a time, okay? They always open up the Friday prior to when they start. So this first unit ends in week 3 when you turn your first essay in on Friday of week 3. Unit 2 will pop open. You'll have access to it. And then Unit 3 will pop open, and then Unit 4 will pop open, okay? So that is how they'll work. I will not open them earlier, not because I've got a huge issue, but because I like to have you focus on a single issue. You can work ahead in those if you desire. There are, however, lots of places where I want you to get feedback on something before you move on to the next step. And if you just plow forward, it's problematic. So if you know that you want to work ahead because you've got something coming up and you're going to want to try to take a week off of class, that's totally fine. Give me the heads up. Let me know what you're going to be turning in and when, so I will know to check it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be looking for a proposal for SA2, for example, until the proposal is actually due. So if it gets turned in a week ahead of time, I'm not necessarily looking for it, so I'm not likely going to be going for it. Okay? One last and final thing that I am thinking about right now, the course schedule. We theoretically have spring break during week 9 right here, okay? If you want to take the week off, please feel free, okay? You can certainly turn things in the following week. I don't have a problem with that, okay? I did just sort of plan to use it. The only thing that happens during that week is you guys doing some work, okay? So it wouldn't be any different from me assigning homework over spring break in a face-to-face class. But if you want to postpone it, you can feel free to postpone it. I'm perfectly okay with that. But by stretching it out, it sort of just gave me a little bit more flexibility in the schedule. So I just wanted to give you the heads up to that. Okay. If you have face-to-face classes that week, you will not have face-to-face class. Okay, because it is spring break. I think that is all I need to say right now. If you've got questions or you struggle to figure anything out along the way, just let me know.